bonus stage. My second threesome. Player 1, Tweed. Player 2, Luke. Player 3, Daryl. Player 4, Drew. Begin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to After School Arcades podcast. Credit zero. Daryl, take us home.
All right, guys. We're talking about our...
No. Straight in.
Okay. Sex. We have it.
God damn it. This is just every other
Stop
podcast.
the recording.
No. The sentence you said before we started recording.
I've had at least 2 threesomes.
Yes.
That looks
That's shut up shitty on the mic. At least 2 threesomes.
At least 2.
Were they concurrent?
No.
Okay.
They were.
Were they the same partners?
No.
All right.
One
Paint
of
a
them was the same.
picture for us, Daryl.
Okay.
Oh, no, dude.
Scenario. 2000 and...
18, probably? Or 17?
Oh, recent. This is
Yeah.
a timely. This ain't an evergreen podcast. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
This happened a year ago.
Yeah, maybe 2.
And, okay, so as a person, a
would hope.
lovely lady I know, that her and I had casual relations for a while, and she...
Okay, scene, interior. Give me a name.
Tammy.
Scene, interior. Tammy's fuck couch.
Yeah. And she also lived in a house that was like kind of like a sexual house. Like everybody had sex with each other.
It wasn't just her fuck couch.
It was the communal fuck couch.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Play the Russian national anthem.
Our fuck couch.
The nation's fuck couch. So what happened on the fuck couch? Was it actually a couch?
No. There was a futon, but we actually did it on a bed.
Oh.
If you have food on the futon, are you eating? Never mind.
What were you gonna say, Paul?
No, it was not leading anywhere. Make sure you don't leave your foot on the futon.
Are you saying foot or food?
Well, no, like your foot, like your feet, but also make sure if you're having food sex, don't leave food on your foot on the futon. Was there a sex futon?
I mean, they were all sex surfaces. I don't know what to tell you.
Did they have a beanbag chair?
Did they
Because to
have
me,
Windex?
that's like
No.
the classic like hippie sex.
They did not.
What kind of position can you be in a beanbag chair? Lotus, maybe.
I mean, it's very supportive of your, like, it holds your legs up and shit.
I'd rather fuck I'd rather fuck in a shower, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
I don't like shower sex. Shower sex is fucking overrated.
I don't like it either. I actually think showers should be solitary activities. I don't think you should invite other people with your shower.
You know, I agree with that. There's hair in your face, it's awkward, there's like water in your eyes. You don't realize how much of the shower you spend with your eyes closed until there's someone else there and you just feel awkward.
No, I quite like showering with people.
How big is
My
your...
penis.
No, your girlfriend's shower?
It's actually quite small. We have to like do-si-do to like wash each other off.
The do-si-do is like the worst part.
That was the dough.
I don't like the do-si-do. Granted, like, I've only usually been in small showers, but I was in, like, a tub shower combination once.
Yeah.
With this one, you know, a combination like a KFC and a Taco Bell, if you get what I'm saying.
I get you. So
Yeah.
you got like a crunchy, tasty, crispy,
Yeah.
and
Pizza.
Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At any rate, all that in a shower.
Then you felt disgusting and you had to wash off.
Yeah, which is every time I eat Taco Bell anyway.
Hey, yo.
So, yeah, even then, like, you're slipping on shit, and then there's another person you gotta be conscious of, and, like,
Well, just
the
don't
showers...
drop stuff.
Unless you're watching, like, a porn movie where you're just like, these are clearly houses they rented out in L.A., the showers are never big enough where, like, even if you could stand by yourself without bumping into the other fucking person, like, you can't move side to side. You know what I'm saying? You either gotta be rich, or shower sex is gonna suck. You're also wet, and you're, like, either getting wetter or drying off. There's really no fucking possibility of...
If you know what I'm saying.
You also need like silicone lube if you're gonna have shower sex.
Why?
Because water-based lube will just wash off.
Nah, you just gotta be quick.
Yeah, fair. No.
You could also use the
Yeah.
water as lube.
Women love
That
that.
sucks.
That doesn't
That's
work very well.
horrible.
Yeah, no, it is horrible, but like in fucking like, I never got this how like people go like, why are you using water as lube? Meanwhile, you use your own spit as lube like all the fucking time, and in porn they use spit as lube. That's just water with like DNA in it.
Yeah, but
I feel like I'm not a scientist, but I feel
it's
like there's
different
more to it.
viscosity.
There is more viscosity. There's more viscosity when I bang. You know what I'm
Have you
saying?
ever washed your hands and like not dried them off and then tried to rub them together? It's very sticky.
Wait, what?
No.
Like after sex or just in general?
Just in general, like
I've washed my hands a couple times.
Water,
Been there, done that.
Yep,
water,
didn't care for it.
Water creates friction.
Water creates friction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your point being,
My point being is it's not a very good lubricant because it's just gonna make more friction.
I'm not rubbing my hand against hers, Drew.
that's not what sex is. I know.
Wait, it's not?
Yeah, I know the Grey's Anatomy book said otherwise, but that's not what intercourse is.
I was
Grey's
still,
Anatomy. Do you mean Kama Sutra?
I was,
No, the Grey's Anatomy book that he jerks off to.
I was told
That's
not to hold
a
hands
TV
because
show,
it was
Grey's
too
Anatomy.
close.
Yeah, but it's named after a canonical medical textbook called Grey's Anatomy.
It's also written by the woman who wrote. Oh fuck, I forget what it's called. This is not going to go anywhere. But she's a huge fan of Aaron Sorkin. She's a very successful television writer, and she's very respectable. But fuck the show.
Shonda Rhimes.
Maybe. Anyway, so you have had several threesomes.
2, yeah.
2. Was one in the shower?
No.
Why the fuck have we been talking about this?
I don't like showers. In fact,
Wait.
I'll even go. I'll
I
even go
can
as
tell.
far as this. Showers are for cleanliness. Sex is for dirtiness. There, I said
That
it.
is, you
That's
know
a
what?
hot take.
You know what? I'll respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll respect.
You're
So-
right, Daryl.
So was it on the fuck futon then?
Yeah, it was like a bed on the floor.
And you fucked 2 different people in it.
Yep.
At the
both-
same time?
Both. Both.
There
had-
was. I wouldn't say I fucked them, but there was sex involved.
Okay.
With all 3 of
Did
them.
did both have vaginas?
Not technically, no.
Really? One had a dick.
Yeah.
Was it you?
Yes.
Or did another person have a dick?
Yes.
Okay. So was it like trans or was it MMF?
It was trans.
Okay. All right.
She was trans.
Okay.
It.
It was an experience that had a trans person.
Yes.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. We're friends.
We're all friends here.
Yeah.
All right. How was that on the fuck futon? The futani fucking house.
That was good. It was
How was
alright.
the lighting?
Probably shitty. There's probably just like one. If it's like a fuck house in like a college area, which I'm imagining, it's probably one of those places that has like drapes over the windows that are like actually garbage bags, and there's a smell of weed everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's very close actually. Yeah, it was like a blanket instead of garbage bags, and a single naked light bulb. That
Oh fuck! I was totally imagining the single naked light bulb.
Yeah.
Were the walls like brown or something, like beige?
yeah, it was like somebody's like basement.
I've imagined this before.
Were you there?
No.
Whatever.
Keep
It's
in
like,
mind, I asked specific guided questions to know, like, oh, one of them was trans, which a lot of cis people don't even like consider.
Yeah,
And-
but that means you could have been like in the closet or something.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. And I figured out the fucking the color of the walls and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's a reason that stereotype exists of like the walls being beige, the single naked light bulb, and the fuck futon and the blankets not on the futon, but against the fucking window.
Yeah.
It's a shame the neighbors didn't see. Was it enjoyable?
it was nice. Yeah, that time actually that was my second time. The first time was 2 females.
And
me.
was it less successful?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what successful means.
Okay, let me put it this way. I've also had 2 threesomes in my life, both with 2 female. One time it was really nice. The other time there was miscommunication and it got awkward.
No.
So there were no points when it got like awkward for you.
Have either of you had a threesome with one partner that was your main partner and then like a unicorn, or was it 2 people that you had casual stuff and you brought them in?
They were both casual for me.
Okay.
This is a complicated question
Yeah.
for me because one of them, first of all, my first threesome, which was in first year of university. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad, if you're listening to this.
You dog.
they were a lesbian couple that were both sort of like, I think we're gonna marry each other, but also we want to see what this is like.
Yeah.
Which is basically, like, as far as I understand from, like, pathetic forums of pathetic men on the pathetic internet, every guy's fantasy. Whenever you, like, have a lesbian friend couple, you're always like, maybe I'll be the guy that gets invited to the threesome. The threesome they're never thinking of having with a dude.
Yeah.
If anything, they're thinking of having a threesome with a woman because they're lesbians, dumbass.
They don't like you.
Yeah. I hate this idea that, like, all lesbians are just, like, waiting to try dick or something like that.
Yeah,
It's really misogynistic.
What's that, like a Ben Affleck movie? That's essentially...
Oh, Batman, yeah.
No. Where it's...
The Town, yeah.
Yeah, the town.
Yeah.
They're in Boston, like, trying to get rid of police corruption, and they're like, but I can convert a lesbian. Like,
That's
Chasing
so gross.
Amy. That's the one. This woman is a lesbian, and it's just like she's going through guys that are trying to convert her into being straight. It's
That's
like,
gross.
Fuck that.
Does she eventually, like, try dick at the end of the movie? I hope not.
I think so.
Oh.
And it's Ben Affleck who switches her.
Dude, if I was like...
that's
wait,
Geely.
I
Isn't
am-
that Geely?
I am bi. And I wouldn't go for Ben Affleck.
Yeah, he's like a... Yeah.
Anyway, so...
So,
Yes.
yeah.
very serious.
There was one podcast we did where we were all like, ha 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 ha, and we all happened to stop at the exact time I went, anyway. That was a lot of fun.
We like to have fun here.
We do. There was a lesbian couple. They were just like, we'd like to try dick. And I specifically got to be the guy because, number one, I was already kind of slutty at this point and they heard about my escapades. Notably not from me, but from other people. And they heard... You know, they went to my site on Yelp and they saw the positive reviews.
They saw the 5 stars, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, like, I apparently was one of their only male friends that wasn't pushing them, like, at any point, even, like, jokingly. Because I think every, like, high school guy jokes, like, oh, well, what about a threesome? And, like, their fucking heteronormative female partners just lower their eyebrows at them because, like, they're trying to ask, but, like, are too fucking unconfident to ask earnestly, so they frame it as a joke. Yeah, so apparently they had a lot of male friends that did that, and I was, like, the one male friend, or, you know, one of several that didn't, but because they heard good reviews and I never asked, they approached me first and was just, we were playing fucking, like, video games or some shit, and they brought it up, admittedly clumsily, through conversation, and they were just like, would you ever be interested in this sort of thing? They were never, like, direct. They were never like, we have a proposition for you. They were...
Thank God they didn't ask it like that.
I'd be... You know, I'm a blunt motherfucker. I'd be fine with that. Instead, they
the
were like...
tone of voice, though, was so creepy.
Yeah, but, like, consider it...
a proposition. Please come to our basement with all the candles.
Come to our fuck bed.
We would like you to fuck us. Are you down, coward?
Where am I?
What are you, yellow-bellied sassafras?
Yeah, they're
Whip
like,
that dick out and let me see it.
they're like fucking xenophobe.
What are you, a Polak? Come on.
Oh my god.
My apologies to our Polish listeners. Anyway, so fucking... Oh, man. The brain.exe is disconnected.
You were playing video games.
Yeah, and like they tried tying what was happening in the video game to the concepts of threesomes 3 different fucking times.
Oh, God.
To segue. You remember when I said I'd prefer if they just said we have a proposition?
Yeah.
That's because not only did that happen, I just summarized maybe 7 minutes.
Okay, please tell me what game you were playing.
It was a Nintendo game. Because I didn't really play anything other than Nintendo games. First Year of Universe, it might have been a Pokemon game?
Okay.
I realize this isn't going well considering you're battling with like little monsters, but they were talking about the human characters.
Did they see like a trainer that had like 3 Pokemon and were like, that could be us?
I think they just saw 2 people in the video game standing next to each other. It might have been like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door too. I don't remember, which is a great game by the by.
Not the one with stickers, right?
No, that's
Stickers
Paper
is the
Mario.
bad one.
That's a Paper Mario sticker store.
Yeah. Sorry for bringing it up.
No, that's fine. I also hate the Wii one. Anyway,
Threesome.
So they brought it up clumsily.
all of our listeners are flaccid. Yeah, so they brought up threesomes very clumsily and then just admitted, we'd like to try this experience. If it were me nowadays, I would have set some parameters going like, okay, is this something that you'd like to happen ongoing? Is this something where like you want me to engage like romantically or even emotionally or just sexually? I was not that guy back then and didn't know how to communicate those things. Honestly, I probably learned the bulk of that stuff maybe as recently as like last year.
Yeah.
So you're only recently that guy.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I was still respectful beforehand. One of the reasons that they wanted to do it with me is because among my reputation for different things, my reputation also was like, he always asks for consent before like the act begins.
That's good.
Yeah. Like no matter who it is, no matter how many times I've done it with them, I probably like there were probably instances where it was really clear and I've done it with them before, so I didn't feel the need to. Mm-hmm. But in some way, shape, or form, I'll usually ask, "Are you sure you want this?"
Like
or like,
verbal consent.
Are you ready for it?" or something like that.
Are you ready?
Let's get ready to rumble.
You know how some people listen to like really sexy music?
Yeah.
Do you put that on before bed?
I've once
The Space
done it.
Jam soundtrack.
I
I
truthfully-
believe I can fly.
First of all, I don't like Netflix on the background. I don't like music. I once did it to zero punctuation because it happened to be playing in the background.
Did you keep rhythm with it?
No, God, no. We weren't paying attention to it.
You weren't.
That's fair. She was probably like, Yahtzee Croshaw.
I'll buy your hat game.
Nice. Sick ref. Yeah, I don't listen to any... People do that same thing with Netflix and chill. They just want something on for background noise. If you're playing John Mulaney's special while boning, you're not going like, ha ha ha, we don't have time to unpack all that. That's good. No, they're thinking, oh yeah, stick your penis in my vagina.
See, that's why I prefer...
Are you having sex with a sociopath? Stick your penis in my vagina.
That's why I prefer laptops, because you just shut the screen and it turns off.
Some of them just keep playing and you're just like, fucking...
Well, that's
Just
why you
like-
have your settings, if it's your own laptop.
That's why you have your settings in sex, my friend.
Speaking
boundaries.
of settings and boundaries,
Yeah.
you didn't set them.
Yeah. No, I didn't. It's not like I just wasn't very clear on things, so I was kind of disappointed to hear that it was a one-time thing after the fact.
Yeah.
Because it was not thoroughly communicated. But the actual thing itself was a lot of fun, and we stayed friends after that.
Cool.
There was like a brief, like... There wasn't a hiccup in our friendship, but whenever I have sex with someone and I think it's more emotional than it is, there have been like... Honestly, too many people to count where I thought that something more emotionally was happening
Well,
during the
brag
sex than
about
was.
it.
No. No, this is a bad thing, I
Yeah,
argue.
I know.
Where, like, yeah, I thought something emotional was happening, and then, like, either they tell me, no, nothing emotional was happening, or, like, that same night go, I think we should just be friends. At that point, I'm worried, like, twofold. Like, oh, fuck, is this happening? And also, did I do a bad job?
Yeah, if it happens the same night, that's kind of awkward.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah?
Or
Yeah.
Or they enjoy it and we're like really, really close for about 2 weeks, and then they ask for space, and then like 2 days later
Meet somebody else.
they meet somebody
Yeah,
else.
We were talking about that last night.
Yep, that has happened to me way too many times in like a very suspiciously small amount of time. At any rate, yeah, the second threesome was the awkward one. So this is why I say it's complicated as to whether it was a main partner or not.
Starring Meryl Streep.
Starring Meryl Streep. So Meryl Streep
good
and
for you.
I. Thank you. I'm assuming this is a code name. I didn't actually fuck the lead of such iconic films as
It's complicated.
The Devil Wears Prada and The Post, her two most famous movies. Show of hands, how many people here have watched The fucking Post?
Not a lot.
Yeah, that was just Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks are politely asking for an Oscar the movie. Then again, like, the fucking Green Book was Viggo Mortensen wants an Oscar for playing a racist the movie, and it worked, so
Yeah.
fucking whatever.
Yeah.
I liked him better when he was racist and fighting orcs. Lord of the Rings, Aragorn. Read
Yeah.
a book, Daryl. Anyway.
I didn't know he was racist.
He hated orcs.
Yeah.
They
fair.
represented
Different
Africans.
race.
Yeah.
Did they? Is that
Scholars argue that orcs represented like North Africans
Ugh.
in Tolkien's
To be
books.
fair, scholars argue a lot of things.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. No, you're not, Professor Dingleberry.
A lot of those, like... A lot of those, like...
Of all the words to choose.
What was that whole bit? That was stupid. Eject me from this fucking podcast.
Straight from your subconscious.
Woo!
That was like a dream.
Yeah.
So
A lot of those late 20th century neo-Christian authors have a lot of subtext that's like, ugh.
Yeah,
Like, see-
Lovecraft.
Yeah,
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis,
Yeah.
like you know how like one of the like the alternative to Aslan is like, oh, that's Allah.
The Hunter
It's like,
and the
oh
Snark.
shit.
Yep. G.K. Chesterton.
Yeah,
There was a lot of shit there. Ernest Hemingway was probably a bad person.
yeah.
Oscar Wilde was dumb.
Okay.
Tesla was overrated.
I don't know if he counts as a writer, but
Yeah.
Oh, he wrote a lot of bullshit.
yeah.
he's
well,
a fiction writer.
Hey.
Well, fucking like
Nice.
a golem is literally like a soulless like thing from like Talmudic law.
I mean, like in
Talmudic?
It's anti-Semitic. Yeah.
I've always remembered that there was like a word that went in front of Jews, and every time I was thinking like, what is that word? I was always thinking like televised Jews.
No.
And I was like, that can't possibly be it.
Talmudic, as in Talmud, the Talmud.
Yeah. As opposed to Hasidic?
No, I think that's different.
Okay. But there are still Jews.
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
don't know much about Judaism.
Neither do I. Back to sex. Jews can't have sex before marriage.
I mean, neither can Christians.
Yeah.
neither can Muslims.
Neither can atheists.
Everybody.
Everybody. No one can have sex before
No
marriage.
sex.
only
You
four
hear
types
that,
of people.
kids?
Yeah.
No sex.
So anyway, my second threesome. Honestly, this is a good PSA for just no sex. You want your life to be a lot calmer? Genuinely, throw your sexual desires away. Easy fucking peasy. Because yeah, I will admit, I don't like to think I'm one of those people that like overtly thinks with his dick, but sexual situations have got me into more trouble than I think, in hindsight, I would have gotten myself into.
Tell me about it, man.
Genuinely?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to hear this story. Anyway, so yeah, speaking of trouble, my second threesome. God, we're so fucking all over the place on this fucking podcast. Jews! Anyway, so,
You've been saying, anyway, my second threesome for like 25 minutes.
you're right. Okay, so anyway, my second threesome. Ronald Reagan was a terrible president. I did
Hear
not.
that, you hear that recording of him like like that came out over Nixon's tapes of him like being super racist, and like you can even hear Nixon being like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Oh, I would have loved if Nixon was like, yeah, I hate black people too.
see,
You
he
tell him,
felt that, but
Ronnie.
even he was like uncomfortable because Ronald Reagan was saying some like real serious shit.
Like they should all be like hanged or some shit.
He was calling them like monkeys. And things.
Oh,
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad. But
That's
that
pretty
came
distasteful.
out. Yeah, that
God
came. But
bless
Nixon
America.
knew it was being recorded, so he was like, shut.
Yeah. So speaking of my second threesome, my second threesome. All right, so
Nixon and Reagan.
all right, so yeah,
It was
sure.
a three-man
Let's call them.
threesome.
Let's call them Nixon and Reagan. Both of them were female. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Okay.
Nixon and I had been having casual sex on and off for a long time now. Nixon was one of those people who had a really high sex drive, but also was kind of unstable. Do you know the type?
Yeah.
Where like that's kind of a bad combination when they really, really like sex and also, frankly, are really good at it. But as well, you can tell that something's going on like below the surface, and also they kind of yearn for something that they themselves can't get. For reference, before we met up, we agreed that like no sex would happen. In the first time that we like hung out at my place, we fucked for like 2 hours straight.
That didn't last.
Yep, and this was
I
when
mean,
I
the
was
sex did, but not the promise.
nice. This was when I was like 19 and very immature. In terms of
As
like
opposed to now.
when I'm slightly immature. So yeah, we fucked a lot, and like I said, we had agreed partially for her sake because she was like, "Yeah, I'm more of the emotional type person. I want to get to know someone first." And then we fuck, boom, 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 ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da. Exactly, yeah. So we fucked many times over the course of different things. She was different days, different events, different places, different types of sex. She was the one
my.
that got me into pegging.
Ooh.
Yeah. At one point, both of us had contracted something that's very easily curable, and the fucking stigma, and both of us are clean to this day. I had it for like a week. Fucking, oh no.
Is this the window person you're telling me about?
No, this is not the window person.
Okay.
That is another... Anyway. God, I love Max. Anyway. See that? Yeah, Daryl's smiling.
I don't know why.
I don't know why I'm smiling. Life is suffering.
Woo! Okay, so, my second threesome. So, Nixon and I had been fucking, like, a little bit...
I thought it
and,
was
like,
you and Reagan that were fucking.
did I say- No? Okay.
you and Nixon.
Nixon.
True.
Okay.
God damn.
Oh man, Drew, stop interrupting Paul.
God,
Let him get through the story.
Oh, why do you even want to stay on after school again? No! Woo! Okay, so...
Anyway.
You know what? I'm going to tell this story to you specifically, my little picture book. All right, so...
Oh, it was so cute.
Thank you. So, Drew, I can't actually tell this to you because then it'll sound echoey because I'll be facing away from the mic.
Yeah.
So, Drew, Nixon and I had been, like, on and off. Yeah, there we go. Drew moved, so now I can tell him directly. He's got beautiful eyes. All the women that are having sex with Drew are very lucky. All the men, too.
Drew, take those glasses off.
I can't say anything because it's going to be super echoey.
Well, we can hear you.
I've already said he's moved to the other side of the mic. Hey, Drew, how is it all the way over there in Tel Aviv?
It's great. I love it here.
Oh, are there a lot of Hasidic Jews or telepathic Jews?
Telepathic.
Your threesome.
So anyway, my threesome. So, Nixon and I had been fucking on and off for like a long time. Do you want me to just leave? I can just fucking leave.
Never mind.
So, anyway, my second threesome.
Go back to the first one again. I just feel like
All right, cool.
there's been so
Cute
much
lesbian
time.
couple. We did a one-time thing. It was actually a lot of fun. They kept in touch. I thought that like my value to them was only sexual for about like a week, and I felt really insecure. But they kept up their friendship with me, and that meant a lot. But anyway,
Nice.
my second threesome. You know, let's 3, 2, 1. My second threesome. 3, 2, 1.
My second threesome.
Nixon and I had been fucking on and off for a little bit now, and like she'd started to show. You know, she was emotionally, like, there were certain times where we wouldn't connect. Our senses of humor did not connect to each other at all, and we were trying to make jokes around each other because we really wanted to bond in an emotional way, and neither one of us was mature enough to, like, accept this clearly did not work in terms of, like, a friendship type of thing. And also, like, this was before I met... Redacted. So, I was a very emotionless husk of a person. I was just sort of like, yeah, whatever, you can feel what you feel, but I don't feel much. You know, like that sort of thing. And that led to, admittedly, a few accounts of, like, me being uncool and not realizing that until later in life, because I was emotionally, unavailable, and didn't realize that I kept having sex with people who were emotionally needy, and not realizing that not only was that bad for me and, like, made an inconvenience, that was bad for them and, like, toyed with their feelings. Even though I said, like, I'm not looking for a relationship, what's up, Drew? Even though I said I'm not looking for a relationship, I think I toyed with their feelings by, like, pretending that sex didn't mean anything emotionally to them, and they like to pretend as well because they wanted to keep having sex because it also filled in an emotional need. You get what I'm saying, Daryl?
I get it.
Yeah. Thank you. You're the only one here that has anything resembling a promiscuous past for me to relate to.
Cool. I just, I've lived longer.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Do you have the same sort of experience, or was your, like, introduction to sex?
Oh, well, not exactly with my introduction to sex, but
Yeah, but like
certainly-
casual sex.
Yeah, certainly this one sort of person that I had these multiple threesomes with, that what you're saying, what you're describing is very similar to my story too.
Yeah.
Whereas, this was somebody that seemed to have like a lot of emotional needs that I wasn't really fulfilling, but we were still, sort of doing whatever we were doing casually because it filled a void for both of us.
And the void was different for both of you. And
Yeah.
like, you were kind of blind to seeing that, like, you guys are having different needs fulfilled, and eventually that was going to, like, boil over or something like that.
Yeah, or, just not even blind to it, you like seeing it and just trying to pretend like it didn't exist.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3, 2, 1.
One. My second threesome. So Nixon and I are not getting along at this point, but like we're denying that whole sale, and it's not like we're getting angry with each other. We're just not connecting in any way except sexually. Yeah. So things kind of got a little bit more tense after we contracted that illness that we both cured, Then we got to a point where she was 24, I believe. I was 19 at the time, as mentioned. She was, at that point, the oldest person I'd ever gotten with, like by age gap. She also was considering being a sex worker. She was very sex positive. She was bi. She had other friends she was fucking, etc., etc. And she, at one point... You ever have someone, or even be that person, where like you're showing off your friends and going, aren't they sexy, to a person you're having casual sex with, in the hopes that they will say like, no, you're sexier, or I only want you. She was definitely doing that to me, and I was oblivious to that, with her friend Reagan. Ronald Reagan, female. Reagan.
Nancy Reagan.
Reagan.
Say no.
Reagan was huge in a certain department and also had a really cute face. And I was like, I want to be with that too, please. So when she said, isn't this other person cute? I didn't lie. And I was like, fuck yeah, I would love to have sex with her too. Because to me, this was a fully casual thing. And I don't think I realized that Nixon was kind of bitter about that, but she also wanted to please me above all else. So she organized a threesome with us at a motel. And it began fine. We were usually just splitting off into pairs while the third one watched, or like clumsily trying to do some sort of like three-way action. I'll omit the sexual details, but at one point, Nixon went to the washroom, and Reagan and I were just like, oh, we're still gonna continue, and I started fucking Reagan. Nixon came back from the washroom and got super upset by this.
Whoa.
Yes, super
Like,
fucking upset.
You didn't pause the movie when she went to the bathroom.
I guess. So she promptly left.
Comparison.
She promptly
I don't have a lot of experience, okay?
she promptly left, and Reagan immediately went after her. To this day, I'm not the type of person where if someone goes like, can't fucking believe you, and rushes out, if someone leaves in sadness, I will absolutely follow them. But if someone leaves in anger, I will not follow them. I'm not sure whether that's like a good thing or a bad thing, but I also know at the time I was an emotionless husk, as mentioned. So I just sort of was like, I don't like that my actual emotions are happening in this scenario. So I just sort of laid down on the motel bed and just sort of was like, nope, nothing's happening. Nope. And I just sort of fell asleep, and I was in and out of sleep. And eventually, I guess, Nixon came back, and she said something to the effect of, do you want Popeyes? And I don't remember this happening. I was still like half asleep. I was like, yeah, maybe. And so she went off and got Popeyes, which is very sweet. And when she tried to wake me up to like give me the Popeyes, I like still in sleep, I was like dreaming or something like that, so my back went, and she interpreted that as, don't touch me right now, and I don't like you. And she got real fucking sad. So I woke up at like 2 a.m. and there was Popeyes next to me. I was like, cool, Popeyes. I ate the Popeyes.
Every day's Mardi Gras.
Yep. I ate Popeyes, and like I went to the washroom, and I didn't exactly do a number one, if you know what I'm saying. Motel toilet, didn't flush. So there was just a big old vat hanging in the toilet. So like that makes things like, I'm sitting there going, oh, this is awesome. At this point, like I haven't seen Reagan in a good while now. And so I wake up, and Nixon's like, we ready to go? And I was like, yeah. I use the washroom before we leave. There's no turd anymore in the toilet, which means that, yeah, Nixon saw it, Nixon dealt with it. Whew, that was probably the most awkward I felt out of the entire trip. And, like, the drive back was silent. And I remember Nixon asking me some sort of really awkwardly emotional question out of nowhere. Just like, do you ever feel like just giving up? Or something like that. And I was like, no. And she's like, well, I do. And there was just like, I swear to God, those were like the 3 sentences exchanged in the car. I did not know what the fuck to say. I wouldn't know what to say nowadays. I'd probably pull something out of my ass, but you know, it was empty because of the earlier experience. But yeah, back when I was 19 and emotionless.
Hold on. Let's just review. So you planned a threesome that they were having casual sex with. You started fucking the other person while she was in the washroom. She said, "Fuck this," went out, came back, gave you Popeyes, and you did. So they just had Popeyes. You ate it, took a shit, and it was still there. And she went into the washroom.
Took care of it.
Deal with this shit. So from her perspective, Nixon was like, "Oh, this guy's really into a threesome with this other person. Doesn't want my food, and now shit in front. And now I have to deal with this shit."
Can we just acknowledge that every time she went into the bathroom, something bad happened?
We can laugh about it now. She probably sees me as a scumbag to this day.
Yeah.
And, you know, while I don't think that, like, I was a terrible person, I also can see, like, where I went wrong and stuff like that. Me, I judge intent over action. Okay. And I'm not sure whether I was negligent in looking at her emotions, in which case that would tie into intent. So, yeah, I can agree that I was the bad guy there. And she only wanted what would please me, and I think in that moment realized I'm trying to emotionally please a guy that clearly does not want any kind of connection in this sort of capacity. And on some level, I didn't want a romantic connection. I wanted an emotional connection. You know, didn't articulate that, but whatever. But also, we were just 2 different kinds of people entirely. And, yeah, well, after she drove me back, we had a couple conversations over Facebook. Didn't talk for, like, a year, and then she blocked me a year after that.
Wow.
Now, when I'm actually feeling emotions, now I just feel bad about that sort of shit because I'm a chronic fucking overthinker. So, like, genuinely, every single person I've wronged sexually, I probably think about at bare minimum once every week. And I'm a slut, so there's been a lot of those. The exception are people like, who's a third president?
George Bush Sr.
George Bush Sr.
All conservative presidents.
She was not conservative.
Oh, okay.
This George Bush Sr., who, like, had sex with me on and off in a casual thing, and, like, she would keep admitting to certain things around me, like she admitted she was a narcissist, or she thought she was a narcissist. She admitted, like, she doesn't know what she wants, and maybe she's too emotionally unstable for this. She said she wanted to try out girls, so I introduced her to a friend of mine who also wanted to, like, be with women, and she found that cool at the time, and then found that super manipulative later, as if, like, you're just tricking me into wanting a threesome. And I was like, no, I was asking you to if you wanted a threesome, and also you could talk to each other. Yeah, so as you can guess, things kind of came to a head surprisingly recently, way after we stopped having sex, where she basically said, you've been manipulating me since the beginning.
This is Bush Sr.
This is Bush Sr.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, you've been manipulating me since the beginning, and the time I've spent without you and without sex has been the happiest I've ever been, and, like, shit like that. It's stuff that's designed to get under my skin.
True, yeah.
And, like, for a second it worked. And, like, she was like, I never really wanted this, but you kept pressuring me into it, and blah, 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 blah. And I think that's true. In any casual situation where a party doesn't know what they want, there will be occasions where a party messages the other, hey, how's it going? And the other person's, like, not as into it, and the other party doesn't clue in. And, yeah. And just is like, you want to do this? And it's like, maybe another time. And, like, that happened on both ends with George Bush Sr. and myself. Yeah, so she would send me this, like, huge message going, like, and now I'm so glad I'm away from you. Honestly, thank you for introducing me to that woman, because it made me realize about myself and realize how much of a, like, chauvinist pig you were. Blah, 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 blah. First of all, clearly they didn't have incredibly inflammatory discussions, because the other person was cool with me and is cool with me to this day. And we still have, like, she's in a monogamous relationship now, but we still have frank conversations about sexuality, because she's that level of cool. Mm-hmm. And she recognizes what's a boundary to a relationship and what's not. Yeah, and George Bush Sr. just was fucking telling me, you need to block me off of all social media, because I am done putting energy into this. And I would have felt bad if not for the fact that, like, I was reading over and going, oh, is this her feelings? Let me scroll up to the very last conversation we had. That was her asking me to have sex and me going, no, I don't feel it today. And she was like, oh, come on.
And then she yelled at you for pressuring her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, my first point was just sort of like scroll up. Honestly, I think this isn't the situation you think it is, with all due respect. And she took that as me gaslighting her. Which, I swear to God, for anybody in denial, that must really suck, because anyone telling you, hey, this situation, you need to open your eyes to this situation. I've had no less than, I think, honestly, 3 people who are in denial about something accuse me of gaslighting them. And in all 3 situations, I've conferred with other parties, hey, is this happening? Like, I talked to the other girl afterwards to go like, hey, did I do something wrong here? Here's our entire history. Yeah, I pressured her at some points. She pressured me at some points. And she said, it honestly sounds like neither of you knew what you wanted, and that she is angry at the concept and needs a person to blame.
Yeah, and it's probably just one of those like easiest words that everybody knows, and it's just like the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, no, I don't even know if it's an easy word. I think she genuinely George Bush Sr. thinks that genuinely that I gaslit her. But like, again, I say, if you're in denial, anyone trying to convince you, hey, you're in denial, looks like gaslighting. If I was ever in denial and going like, no, I didn't do this, I'm a good person, and all of you were trying to go like, no, you are. The fact that I'm in denial, the whole point of being in denial is that when confronted with, no, you did this, I'm still going to deny it.
Yeah.
That's why denial is such a difficult thing to get out of.
Yeah.
Because it really can only come from within.
It's also very easy to blame other people when you're talking about these relationships that are so close. They hit so close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to say, well, you know, you're the new thing in my life, so that it must be something to do with you, rather than maybe it's the individual and how they respond to new people coming in, right?
Yeah.
It's, you know, nobody wants to think it's them, right? Nobody wants to think it's actually something that you yourself needs to fix.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think it's always a little bit of both. You know, some like, and maybe in this instant, maybe that's not the case, but I always think that I always like to think that when people are blaming me, when people are like sort of pushing me up against the wall, that there has to be at least some germ of truth there. And first, there has to be like a takeaway for me to like maybe improve somewhere.
To an extent. There are certain types of people where I've just learned to not trust them anymore. Daryl, do you mind if I, omitting names, share with you a detail?
How many more presidents do we have? 40.
There was
42.
41. Grover Cleveland went twice.
Oh, okay.
He was 22nd and 24th.
Gotcha.
Fucking nerds.
So there was a person who had a sexual history with you that I think I brought this up actually. That like after the fact had said like, yeah, Daryl was like was mean to me and did all this stuff, and I asked like specifically what Daryl had done.
Do I know this person?
You do.
Yeah.
Again, I think we've had this conversation.
Yeah.
And then I asked like what Daryl had done, and knowing your personality and also like knowing their story, don't get me wrong, I always want to believe the victim first, but I had like remembered thinking to myself, this sounds like it's a miscommunication and not actually something one party did.
Yeah.
Normally when that sort of shit happens, God knows, at the university that I went to, there was a person that I kept both fucking eyes on at all times because they had a habit of like trying to find, in our local improv club, trying to find the youngest, most like fucking nubile, emotionally unstable girl possible and pounce on her.
Yeah.
And it was really fucking unnerving and creepy.
Also, can you never use the word nubile again?
You got it. So whenever anybody like told me a story about him, it's like, yep, I believe the victim. But in this circumstance specifically, especially knowing later that that person had a tendency to twist truths about other people they had sex with, I sort of took it with like, again, with some people you have to take a germ of truth, but in other people you also have to take it as like a, and I hate to say this, but with specific people who have a tendency to possibly, again, be narcissistic or something like that.
Yeah.
George Bush Sr. thought that I'd coerced her into sex every time.
Yeah.
And then I scrolled up and saw a conversation where she was begging me, hey, can we do this today? I'm lonely, and, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
In that same way, I feel like someone was George Bush Jr.ing it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And just going like, this person must have had bad intentions because I didn't like the event.
Yeah.
There were weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah.
We had to kill Saddam Hussein.
Yeah. In this scenario, I think to stretch the metaphor, like the act of denial is overthrowing democratic leaders and
Nice.
placing dictatorships in.
Honestly, kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we're using U.S. presidents.
You were both South American countries and Iraq.
Oh, dude, I'm basically Nelson Mandela.
That has nothing to do with either of those places.
Paul.
Yeah.
I mean.
Apart those ties.
Oh no. Oh, with the thing you did with your hands there. The thing
Yeah.
with your,
Just picture a Moses parting the Red Sea
But
kind of motion.
The sea is butt cheeks.
Yeah, thighs specifically.
Oh, okay.
Popeyes.
every day.
Mardi Gras.
3, 2, 1. My second threesome.
I already covered my second threesome. We're good to go there. We even went into like 2 other sexual partners that I'd had. It's definitely a difficult situation, and yeah, as Daryl and I had covered in a very surprisingly not funny for this podcast section, a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about sex, especially when like you make it like emotional and shit like that. And then I had a long-term partner for 2 years, and I completely reevaluated my emotional stance on like things like sex and stuff like that. And you know, my sex drive isn't gone, but I need to be like a lot more conscious about it. Yeah. And I'd argue, in fact, with your point about, like, you always want to blame the other person, I have sort of the opposite problem in a lot of cases, where I'm actually very... Believe it or not, for those of you only listening to this podcast, I don't know who the fuck would find us through the podcast, but whatever. Yeah. I'm actually a very insecure person on the inside, something that, at the very least, 2 of you know very much about. Possibly all 3.
Yeah.
And whenever something bad happens, especially in a sexual escapade, I immediately blame myself.
Yeah.
And immediately go, I must have been a bad person. And that has been a recipe for people to walk the fuck all over me. So when I say that, I think I mentioned a couple podcasts before that I had like a rough period in like November to this October. That was largely because of... Honestly, I'd say I only really started standing up for myself around the release of The Nude Whodunit.
Yeah.
Where, like, again, that one family member, bitch, was, like, wronged me so much that I started standing up for myself. Before then, with sexual partners, or even people I had a sexual interest in, if they ever did bad things, I just immediately go, yeah, this is my fault, isn't it? How can I fucking... for fuck's sakes, the one guy that in improv that I was trying to keep like the 18-year-olds away from.
Yeah.
I'd almost convinced one 18-year-old who he had his sights fucking dead on to stay away from him. And like he had this weird sway on her, Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford.
Yeah, he had his weird sway on her, and she would like say, "Yeah, you're right. I need to block him. I need to never see him again." And like 1 week later, in casual conversation, she just dropped, "I need him." In casual conversation, and then only afterwards realized what she said. I once spent 2 full hours in my car consoling her crying and telling her that she was valid and her worth wasn't just sexual to one person.
Yeah.
That's fucking, like, in the moment, that is scary.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but there was this weird turning point over the course of, like, January or something like that of this past year, where the script was completely flipped. To my knowledge, I didn't do anything wrong in hindsight, other than like ask, hey, if you don't want to hang out with me anymore, please say so. Because
this is Gerald Ford.
This is Gerald Ford.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed spending time. Nothing sexually was happening between us. Nothing romantically was happening between us. We both briefly, her more briefly than me, thought something romantically was going to happen for a bit, and then we both realized, no. Not only is it not happening, it also should not happen, given the exact circumstances of this. So eventually... she started to believe that I only wanted her for sex in this weird... Honestly, I don't even think it was her that was making her believe that. I think it was the manipulator man who was making Gerald Ford believe that. And she started like flipping the script and going like, you only want sex from me. You wanting to hang out with me is just entitlement. And it took a long time for my counselor to convince me asking for reciprocated friendship of all things is not entitlement. And if they see it as entitlement where you're giving your time and you're asking for theirs, that means they value themselves so much more highly than you.
Yeah.
And I never considered that at the time. Like, Gerald Ford said some pretty fucking messed up things to me. One night during a drunken rant, she had told me multiple times that she wanted to kill me if she ever saw me again, and that she, quote, would set me on fire if given the chance.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
Yeah, and I'm sure she feels bad about it to this day. But that is a thing that happened, and that is a thing that at the fucking time, this was like February, at the time, I blamed myself for that.
Yeah.
I was like, I must have warranted this. And then I realized, no, I've only ever been trying to help her, and also, fuck this, I backed off when I realized that I might have romantic feelings because of her past.
Yeah.
Other people did not. Mm-hmm. That's fucked.
And also, like, even if you made a mistake, nothing you did could have warranted, hey, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was so ready to believe that maybe something I had done did wrong, or even there must be good in her, I'm gonna keep trying to find it, enabled her to keep treating me worse and worse and worse. This was also the point when, sorry if I'm getting way too fucking like deep in down this rabbit hole. This was also in my suicidal period, and dumbass that I was, I went to her first and was like, I need help from friends, and she had convinced me, not just told me, convinced me, don't ask for help from friends. That's entitlement. You don't deserve to like ask that from other people. So she was one of the first people to convince me not to reach out to people because that was inconveniencing others.
Which is like the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, 100%. Gerald Ford was a terrible president.
How do they get so many votes?
Yeah, he left New York City in ruin.
Yeah.
He only became president because JFK was shot, right? Or was that
A lot
Johnson?
of people became president because JFK was shot. It was Johnson, first of all, but
Okay, yeah.
Lyndon
Baines Johnson.
I will on that story.
Yeah.
I think it's important for us to like sort of be discussing this because I think we have
Bless you.
We have a lot of
Thanks.
sex talk on this podcast. We talk a lot about funny shit and things that aren't very serious or things that don't really matter.
Until I start talking, yeah.
This thing around not just consent, but about relationships, about being ongoing friendships and keeping stuff going on. I think it's so easy for us to just sort of play it off and be like, well, it's joke time.
Yeah.
The recorder's on. It's joke time. Enough of this serious business.
Yeah.
And then we sort of forget that reality is not like that. Reality is both good and bad. It's happy and sad.
Yeah, I'll
Together
agree
as
with that.
one.
I also-
Yin and yang.
I want to say, for the record, there are two types of situations when, like, let's say we're talking. Both of Daryl and I have brought up the points of like if you're in a situation where you want something emotionally and they only want sex, or vice versa, and like you're upset with the other person. There are two ways this can go. One, they're intentionally stringing you along. Two, there's been a miscommunication and you're more mad at the fact that these things are not reciprocated than the person themselves. Mm-hmm. If you're mad at the person themselves, I argue it should be because of their intent. Mm-hmm. If their intent was to mislead you, or even if they were negligent enough that you have openly said, I only want something emotional, and they didn't process that or didn't pay attention, then you can be mad at the person. And I'm absolutely not trying to poo-poo the victim or anything like that, because God, as I just said, I've been in that exact situation before. Yeah. But as well, it's easy to blame the other person, and I feel like I've been on both situations of I've needlessly blamed the other person, and I didn't blame the other person when they should have been blamed. Mm-hmm. It's definitely case by case.
And sometimes it's a switch. Sometimes if you've been so selfless for so long. And you're always thinking about, it's as you were saying, this is my fault. Oh, how can I improve? How can I fix this? Whatever. If you've been in that position for so long, and then you're somehow taught or whatever, you go through some counseling or something, and then you realize, well, you need to think about yourself. It can also be like a switch where everything you thought of in one way becomes flipped. So you're now thinking, now it's not me, it's you. I've learned, I've been educated, and now you're in the wrong. And now let me tell you how you've done all this and blah blah blah. Yeah. And neither is particularly healthy or correct, right?
Yeah. It's also dependent on like the person you're with. If you're with the right person, I maintain you can learn about emotional healthy bonds way better. When I was in my 2-year-long relationship, I started as a slut who figured this relationship is going to last 1 month maximum. And by the end, I learned a lot more about even just myself and how to address certain things and how valuable fucking communication is. Even with that person and other people to this day, where a person the other day was like kind of insecure whenever I made fun of like the video games they liked, and apparently it was because their entire life they'd been mocked for the things they'd liked. So they said, if you're jokingly mocking me, could you also say something, or like, can you indicate somehow that you're like joking somehow? And I said something along the lines of, would it help if I actually showed interest in the thing? And they said, yeah, that would help. And I was like, okay, I will try to keep that in mind. If not, feel free to call me out on that. And they said, quote, "You're so considerate." And you ever have those moments where you're like, I'm really not. This is like what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only say that sarcastically. You're so considerate.
I say that to, I swear I had a joke here. Drew, take us home.
What? That is the worst waffle I have ever seen in my life.
You're so considerate.
Hey,
Paul.
I'm trying to cook over here. Ding, order up, everybody. Add Waffle House sounds to the back of that.
Excuse me, server.
Yeah, hi, yeah.
There's a whole mustache in my blueberry waffle.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me just, whoops! Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll get you another
Oh,
one.
you got it all over my jacket.
Oh, look, there's eagles. I'm adding sound effects already, fuck asses. You can't communicate with them.
Sir, I have this chicken here. I would like to have some chicken and waffles. Can you cut this, please?
Yes, of course. Here, let me cut them with these cutting sound effects.
No, wait, the chicken is alive.
Oh, no! Oh, what a blood-curdling scream. Willem Dafoe, what are you doing here?
I am Willem Dafoe.
I want you to take audio from like American Psycho.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. Was Willem Dafoe an American Psycho?
Yeah, he was the investigator, the
Oh,
detective.
I thought he was. I thought that was Christian Bale.
Christian Bale was the main guy in American Psycho.
Oh, I thought that was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe played the investigator.
The investigator who was closetly gay. What? Wasn't that this? No, maybe I'm
No,
thinking of
you're
a
thinking the right thing. Willem Dafoe is closetly gay.
Oh.
Cool.
Not many people know about that.
but I remember-
Nymphomaniac was his hardest movie to film.
I'm straight for pay.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. That's actually very deep. All of us are straight for pay because the system, money.
Yeah, you ever thought about that, Daryl?
Yeah.
Well, if I was in gay porn, I'd be making a lot more money, so.
Oh. I see. Can we get like a crowd of just like, oh.
Some slow clapping in the background.
Oh, this is gonna be hell to edit.
You did this to yourself.
I did do this to myself. Where are we at? Yeah, this is a good place, I think.
Yeah.
We opened with some fun sex. We really ended with some, like, deeper morals than I thought we'd get into when we said, like, hey, what do we want to do a podcast about? Threesomes. Wait. Hold the fucking phone. We never got to your second threesome.
Oh, that's true.
So, you
hold on.
sneaky
Okay.
snack.
3, 2, 1.
Daryl's second threesome.
Was
Do-do-do-do.
it involved one of the same women and then a new woman. They were also roommates. They also lived together.
They were
Two vag-
roommates.
Wow. Two badges, or was this the trans woman?
Two vages.
All right,
Two
cool.
Women with women parts.
All parts can be
okay,
women.
women
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Two cisgendered women. Go on.
Yes.
We would like to apologize for the blatant fucking fuckery that's been going on.
I'm a bigot.
Don't say that. We do talk about
And scene.
we talk about Nymphomaniac when Lars von Trier went in Cannes Film Festival and just went, "Okay, I'm a Nazi." When like someone was talking to him about his German heritage. You ever see that?
No,
It's the most awkward interview of all time. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. Daryl's second threesome. Doodly doo.
So this girl that I had been seeing on and off, she was very used to doing these group sexes.
Ooh, is it the same futon?
No, not the same place.
No. That was, like, isolate that, it sounds disgusted with me.
But it was, I will say, one of the more awkward sexual encounters I've ever had.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'd never had anything more than one-on-one sex. I'd never done that to this point.
This is
so
your
you're-
second threesome.
So your second threesome was your first chronologically.
Yes.
Aha! I've cracked the code.
Daryl's second threesome, but the first chronologically.
Okay.
Willem Dafoe.
Doodle-doo.
I'm sorry. Do you want to get out of this?
On the story?
Yeah. Come on in. Come on in. Drew has piss poor entered the chat.
So anyway,
Yeah. So my second threesome, really my first.
I'm totally naming this episode my second threesome.
So I was very physically comfortable with one person, and I had no physical contact with the other up until this point. So it was a little bit strange for me. Usually I have to sort of warm up to sex. Usually like
yeah,
it's
foreplay, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty foreplay myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
Are you talking about four people in a sex?
No, I'm like four
People
F-O-R.
in the sex.
I am talking about four people in the saxophone. Yes. Are you cut, Daryl? I'm for skin. You know what I'm saying?
I'm against.
Oh.
No, I'm for. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
You're for skin?
I'm gonna.
I'm for skin.
Okay, this is already played for people, and I hope they laughed at it. But as soon as Daryl says I'm foreskin, I'm gonna play a sound effect of the kids cheering that. Hooray!
Little sleigh party, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Daryl's
second threesome,
Doodly-doo.
but
Oh.
the first chronologically,
Will Dafoe. Doodly-doo.
Yeah. So, in fact, it took one of the women, I forget now who, to go to the bathroom for the...
Don't do that, as we've learned.
That's a
Yeah,
risky
yeah.
move.
Yeah.
There could be a turd there. There could be fucking the other person when you come back out.
yeah,
Could be a fucking dinosaur. I don't give a
Richard
shit.
Nixon.
I'm not your dad.
If
Yeah.
I've learned anything from this podcast, it's to never use a bathroom ever.
And never fuck Richard Nixon. I'm not a crook.
If the president does it, it's not illegal.
If the president does it, it's not anal.
Not anal.
All right. So yes, please. We're being rude.
Yeah, so the woman, in fact, that I was not comfortable with, she went to the bathroom. The two of us, remaining people, got it going on.
Like
She,
sex or play Uno. You almost said play Uno. We got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
I got played.
Can you play like police sirens?
Yes, sir.
You better get a list.
Set me up, bitches! Y'all going down?
Do the rest of the threesome in that voice.
Is that what one of them said?
Set me up, bitches.
So I was making out with one of the girls. No, I can't maintain that.
Just fucking like bust into like Juicy by Biggie Smalls, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. You remember that lyric?
Yeah.
It was a good
When I was dirt poor, I couldn't picture this.
Picture this, yeah. God, we're white.
Yeah. So while she was in the bathroom, we got it going on, and she just sort of slipped in. The third woman in kind of slipped in afterwards, and
All right.
we all started making out, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then yeah,
That's a lot of making out, Daryl.
yeah. Clothes came off.
Yeah, I was about to say, did sex happen, or did you just like make out and call it a threesome?
Oh, we had sex. All
If
of
you
us.
make out with two people at the same time, is it like a threesome, but like a tame
I'd
threesome?
say it would be like a threesome, but I don't think it is a threesome.
0.75 of a threesome.
It's
Is it a-
it's threesome at first base.
Yeah.
Is it a
first base,
three-way? Are there differences between three-ways and threesomes besides just wording?
I don't think so.
No? I could see a three-way making out scenario being still a three-way, but not a threesome. Like all three ways are threesomes, but all threesomes are three ways.
I see what you're
What's
saying.
the distinction?
Three-way is anything happening, whether it's affectionately, romantically, or sexually, amongst three different parties. Threesome is having sex.
Okay.
Why don't we just call it 3-sex?
We probably should, but we're not there yet progressively.
Okay.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta call it threesome, just like foursome, twosome.
Twosome.
And then one.
I'm pretty handsome. I fuck my own hands.
Hey!
Anyway, is that the whole?
Daryl's second threesome, but the first chronologically Willem Dafoe.
Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, so that was the sex anyways. That was it all.
The end.
Why did you say it was awkward?
It was only
Sounded hella less awkward than mine.
the beginning. The beginning was the awkward part.
There's no turd in the toilet. You had it easy.
There's no driving in silence after this one.
Yeah, honestly, she went to the bathroom and it got better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Popeyes could have happened and it wouldn't have been weird.
That's true.
Weird.
You could have had Mardi
Think of
Gras.
that.
Oh, Scoop.
Like Scoop, I love the threesome, but where's the Popeyes? Popeyes sounds weird.
I want that.
Woo!
All right, should we end it here?
I think so. I think we've got a good fucking pace going for
This
it.
is a good bonus episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sexy time.
Yeah.
Thank you, patrons.
Thank you, patrons who have heard this early. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, if you want to hear more bonus stages early, you can always find us at patreon.com/afterschoolarcade and give us all of your money.
All of it.
Send us some bucks.
Send
and
us-
We'll send you cool shit like this.
We'll send you nudes. We won't.
I drink a lot of
I mean,
ice
you
caps.
might, but I won't.
No.
I need the funding.
Maybe this is gonna be a tangent. Hopefully not. Like you see, like, bye everybody. It's halfway through the episode. I would never send nudes to people I'm in like a community setting with, where like people are looking at my content, because that's a power dynamic.
Or like financially involved with.
Especially that, but also just even when the whole pro Jared thing blew up. I'm not sure if you guys heard that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, like whether or
definitely
not
not the
he was
first
like
person, like-
cheating on fucking Heidi or not, which I believe he was, and I believe he was a dick in that party. I don't believe Heidi was a saint, but I do believe that he was in the wrong. I also believe that no matter what, if he had sinned Jared, which is almost objectively a fact that he did, and fucking like sent nudes to fans and asked for nudes back, even checking if they're consenting adults, the power dynamic still makes it weird. I'm gonna date the episode really badly. Stuff has come out recently about Danny from the Game Grumps, where apparently he did similar stuff where like he had sex with, actually this fits in really well with our theme. He had sex with a lot of fans, usually fans in their 20s. Remember that he's in his late 30s, where he would like say that things were emotionally going somewhere, and if I didn't have the life I did, I'd love to be your girlfriend. And then like when they get too emotionally connected, he'd call them too clingy and eventually ghost them.
Ooh.
And like nothing illegal about that, sure.
Scummy.
It's just scummy, exactly.
Yeah.
And like if I was talking smack about that one guy from improv who was preying on the young girls, that's basically an equatory scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
Shit about Danny.
worse because it has a power dynamic of I'm famous,
Yeah.
and that's why you want to sleep with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that's a bummer to end it on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Paul.
Do you want to do another Waffle House scenario?
Yeah, sure. All right. Scene, interior, Waffle House.
That's good.
Get the fuck out of my Waffle House! Get the fuck out!
Whoa, don't speak to my girlfriend like that.
You want it? You want some? You want some of this?
Yeah, bring it on.
Oh fuck! Is that a train?